Eddie, if you were king of tennis, whether it's Atlanta, the world, any scale, whether it's professional or social at any level, is there anything in tennis that you would do or change?
Well, let me just say thank you for having me. Really appreciate what you guys are doing. So keep it up and just remembering me when you guys are hanging there with Portnoy and doing so keep doing your thing. I really appreciate it. It's part of the ecosystem. We need you guys. So, but if I'm king of tennis, as I said earlier, I'm such passionate about American tennis. And when you look at Sharapova when she came on the scene, and what an influx of young Russian female players that we're still experiencing. When you see what Venus and Serena did, and now Coco's doing for the female African American community, uh, it's just a shame we haven't had a male Grand Slam champion since 2003 with Andy Roddick. So if I was king of tennis, I would love to have an American male win a Grand Slam event, preferably the U.S. Open, because I think that just the global appeal of the Grand Slams, I think we'd see another influx of great young male athletes choose tennis. Where right now they may not be choosing. I don't think our best male athletes are playing tennis. I think they're going to soccer, they're going to basketball, baseball, and other sports. And I would love to, if I were king of tennis, have one of our male American players win the U.S. Open, and I think that would help us see a big boom for years to come.
All right, so Bobby, evidently he agrees with you more than he agrees with me in that the famous tennis player is the thing that drives new players into the sport. So it looks like he's leaning toward that. But I will ask Eddie, as king of tennis, that seems more like grand wizard of tennis that you get to kind of snap your fingers and say American. And you are tournament director, so you could probably rig it to work out that way. But is there a way we accomplish that? Because in this case, how do we get the Americans ready for that? So if we come more from my point of view and saying, I think volume and quality of player will create the next American Grand Slam champion, I kind of view it from the other direction. Would you have, as king, what are your orders? What are you going to tell us to do to help make that happen?
Well, that's the chicken and the egg question. So it's like, all right, do we get more players and one of them is going to end up being a Grand Slam champion? Or if we were somehow to get a Grand Slam champion, do we all of a sudden have this huge swell of new players? So, uh, look, in a perfect world, it'd be both. But that's kind of why I said what I said. I would love to see one of our young American men. I think Ben is capable. I think Francis is capable. I think Taylor's capable because Nadal is, I mean, he's at the finish line now, and Roger's done. And Djokovic, what does he have? Maybe 18 months left. Andy Murray just retired. So there's this window of opportunity, and we're seeing Alcaraz and Sinner now come to the forefront. But Yannick Sinner played in Atlanta in 2021 and lost first round. He lost first round. Now he ended up winning the doubles with Riley Opelka, and Riley, it's the only title Sinner's ever won in doubles, the only title that Riley's won. But I think our American guys are right there with them. I think they're capable, and so if we could just have that happen, and then to answer your question, Shaun, I think we got to make sure that the USTA has the proper infrastructure with the junior competitive pathway. And I'm not the right person to probably get into the weeds on that, but that is, I mean, we need that infrastructure because, I mean, when I was growing up playing junior tennis, what was UTR? What is UT? So now UTR is something that's totally come, and now you have this ITF global tennis number. Again, I'm probably getting into some other topics of things for another day for maybe other guests, but those are the things we just have to make sure we have the right pathway, because even with the Atlanta Open, even though it's gone, pro tennis at that level is so important in the ecosystem because you want those kids to come to those tournaments and dream to play in it one day. And we need pro tennis in the U.S. I hate to see some of these events go away, and I think there's a direct correlation to having pro tennis tournaments having successful players and having world champions.